So it's been a while since I've done a perfume video, so I thought that I would gather together all of the perfumes that I'm excited to wear this winter. And so these are just my specific picks that I'm going to be wearing this winter. And I do have a ton, I'm looking over here at my shelf, I do have a ton of other fragrances that I think are perfect for winter. So I decided I'm just gonna start off with this particular video talking about what I specifically am going to be wearing. And then I think I'm also going to do other videos that maybe might cater more towards other people's tastes. And you guys are going to notice a very common theme when I start going through these. It's like in the winter, I like to smell expensive. Which you can smell expensive on a budget, but most of these are pretty expensive fragrances. I also like to kind of smell a little bit sophisticated. I like scents this time of year that have more depth and that might lean a little bit more masculine. So most of these fragrances are considered unisex, or even, I don't know if any of them are specifically just for men, but most of these fragrances are unisex. So we're gonna go ahead and just jump into it. I am going to start out with the cheapest and move to the most expensive. So if you're somebody on a budget and you do not wanna watch me go through all these super expensive perfumes trying to find one that you feel like you can afford, then you can just go ahead and stop when you kind of cap out of how much money you're willing to spend. Or you could stay here and live vicariously through me and just listen to me talk about these perfumes. So the first perfumes I actually want to mention are from a company called Dossier. So I have talked about Dossier before, and I do have a video on my channel that ended up being pretty popular where I went, this has been a little bit over a year ago now, I went and I purchased a ton of their fragrances, and then I think they sent me 2. But I ended up reviewing 28 fragrances from Dossier, and in that video I also compared a lot of them to the original fragrances, so you kind of have an idea as to whether or not they are like the originals. And kind of in that video I explained that you could tell that like all the same notes were there, but sometimes maybe one note was more prominent in Dossier's versus the other one, and I kind of talked about those differences. Since that video, it's been a year, I have purchased a ton more, and again, Dossier has sent me a few more fragrances to try as well. I think they sent me 6 and then I purchased another 15, so I have 21 more fragrances to review. And at some point in February, because I want to give myself plenty of time to use them all, I plan on going ahead and doing a very similar video that I did in the past of comparing those fragrances to the originals. Of the ones that I have, of course. I don't have all of the originals. So if you're unfamiliar with Dossier, you can definitely check out that video, and I'll have it linked up here for you. But also, if you were somebody who doesn't really like the idea of dupe houses, I also did do a video talking about the ethics behind dupes and clones and things like that, and what I think is ethical and what I think is not ethical. So I'll go ahead and leave that linked for you as well if you are curious. But now we're just going to go ahead and we are going to talk about these. So I'm going to start off with the cheapest. It is the scent that they are replicating, Alien. And I do have the original Thierry Mugler Alien here. And this is actually a really interesting deep jasmine scent. And I'll go ahead and tell you the differences between them. I sometimes find that I can overspray and go a little bit crazy with Alien, whereas in this smells the same to me, but for whatever reason, it's not as headache inducing, I guess, or like it's harder to overspray with this one. There's something about it where you still get that scent, but it's a little less sharp, which I think for a lot of people, if they were turned off by that in the original Alien, this might be a really good option. It still has that really beautiful deep jasmine scent. I'll have all the notes on the screen of all these fragrances if I forget to mention them, but I'm just going to kind of talk about my experiences with them as I go through the fragrances. But this is $29 on the Dossier website, and then also Dossier does have deals going on when you purchase from them. The more you purchase, the more you save typically. And again, I'll have all that information here on the screen and in the information box below. So this has jasmine, amber, vanilla. What else does this have in it? Some mandarin, cardamom, but mostly what I get are the jasmine, amber, and vanilla. It does say it has some cedarwood in it too. I'm not really getting a ton of cedar. I don't get a ton of cedar either in the original. To me, they're just really deep jasmine, amber, vanillas. And I think those other notes that I'm not really picking out are probably what really complement the jasmine, the amber, and the vanilla, and kind of ground it and give it more depth, even though I may not be able to pick out those specific notes. So that is the first one I'm going to be wearing. And then I have two that are Tom Ford dupes. And you are going to notice, even like in the rest of the scents that I choose, I find that Tom Ford does winter scents, or at least what I want to wear in the winter, really well. I have a ton on my list, like that I want to get from Tom Ford, or that I hope that Dossier actually makes a dupe for. But these two I have this one right here, which is another jasmine scent. You're going to notice a lot of jasmine through here too, because I think that's a beautiful winter floral. But this is the Floral Jasmine. And this is a dupe for the Tom Ford Jasmine Rouge. The neroli in this is so interesting because you have the jasmine and then you have neroli. And so it's almost like a, I don't want to say beachy, but it's like a little bit beachy without being like summery beachy. But this has neroli, cardamom, bergamot, pepper, jasmine, sambac. Ylang ylang is what really kind of gives this the depth. You'll notice a lot of ylang ylang in some of these fragrances too. And then it has labdanum, clary sage, vanilla, and broom flower. This is absolutely gorgeous. If you're looking for a deep, sophisticated floral, this is it. This smells so beautiful. And then the next one is actually called Powdery Tobacco. So I don't do powdery scents typically. This is a dupe for Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. And a lot of the times I find that powder is used in fragrances kind of just to like smooth them out if they have no other way to like blend the fragrance. But I don't find that to be the case in this. And also, since this leans a little bit more masculine and not feminine, I don't find the powder to be as like baby powder-esque. It's just a smoothness added to the tobacco. So again, this has tobacco, ginger, apricot, honey, vanilla, cocoa, tonka bean, which the tonka bean is what gives it the powderiness, dry fruits, and blonde woods. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to spray a little bit here. And what's so interesting, it kind of gets a spiciness to it that's almost like, I don't want to say licorice, but there's like a deep sort of spice to it, like a sweet spice. You know what though, it's probably, but the honey and the dry fruits give it that sweetness without being like overly sweet. And then you've got the tobacco. It's so nice. And again, this is one that would be perfect on a man or a woman. Like I would love to smell this on a man, but I also love to smell it on myself. So then the cheapest, at least cheapest now as in the time I'm filming this, is the Elizabeth and James Nirvana Black. So here's the thing, this fragrance has been discontinued, but you can still get it on perfume discounter websites, and I've even seen this fragrance available like at places like TJ Maxx. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so sad they discontinued it, and I actually probably should get a bigger bottle of the black. I did get backups of some of the other ones when I was able to find them, but the black, the original black, because they just started out with a black and a white. The black is my absolute favorite. It is so nice. Again, it smells expensive, and you can find this right now like on the discounter websites for around $50. You might be able to find it cheaper in some places, like at TJ Maxx or something like that. But this fragrance is absolutely beautiful, and I'm like gutted that they discontinued it. I think that it smells so sophisticated. And here's the thing, there are 3 notes listed for it: sandalwood, vanilla, violet. But I smell like so much more in this. Like I even kind of get a hint of tobacco. Maybe some leather. To me, it's just a very sort of deep scent. This also perfectly unisex. I keep taking it off and sniffing it. I love it. And let me look really quick on Fragrance Net because they have, yeah, there's only 3 notes listed for that. But then like if you scroll to the top, it says that it's woody, powdery, vanilla, violet, warm, spicy, balsamic. I mean, I honestly, tobacco and leather in this too. So nice. Okay, so then the next in line is this from YSL, and this is the Libre Intense. So I have the other Libres. I have the Eau de Parfum, or is it Eau de Parfum, I think, and then I have the Le Parfum, and then I have this one. This, I believe, is still my favorite. You get a ton of the lavender in here, but it's like sweet and it's rich. And I find that lavender in a lot of fragrances, at least a lot of male leaning like marketed fragrances, tend to use lavender. And so then I kind of associate lavender with a manly fragrance, but this is so deep and sophisticated and beautiful. I mean, I absolutely love this, but I find though, and you're going to find with almost all of these, that these are polarizing scents because again, these are what I like to wear, which lean a little bit more interested, a little bit more sophisticated. They're not scents that just please everyone, which I can do videos on those types of scents too. But almost all of these scents are going to be very polarizing for people because they're interesting. And I just love how interesting this is considering it is a more mass marketed designer type fragrance. And then with the exception of my friend Amy, I hardly hear anybody talking about this perfume house. And this is Solstice Scents. This is Estate Amber. This is absolutely gorgeous. So the notes in this one are amber, coriander, cardamom, vanilla pod, vanilla sugar, bourbon, vanilla, liquor, whipped cream, and marshmallow. It's like deep and sweet and ambery, like all at once. Like, it's so nice. And I've actually gotten quite a few compliments. I haven't had this very long, but every time I wear this, I get compliments. And I typically am not a big amber perfume person. But this is just like the perfect kind of combination. And also the artwork on the bottle is beautiful. So then we have another discontinued fragrance. I never heard anybody talk about this while I was out. I still haven't heard anybody talk about this, and this is like one of my favorite fragrances. This has myrrh, vanilla, jasmine, leather, ylang ylang. Is that how you say it? Ylang ylang? I think that's how you say it. Anyway, it's beautiful. That's all I can say. It's just so beautiful and it smells super expensive. If I'm able to find this on any discount websites, I'll be sure to go ahead and link it below. But I have a hard time finding this online and I'm going to be so sad when it's gone because it's gorgeous. And another one that I fear might be discontinued because I have a hard time finding it. And this is Serge Lutens, I think that's how you say it, Datura Noir. Datura Noir, I believe. And this has tuberose, almond, coconut, heliotrope, vanilla, Chinese osmanthus, tonka bean, lemon blossom, musk, myrrh, apricot, and mandarin orange. And I think it's the myrrh in here that really does it for me as a winter fragrance. It's just a sort of deep, creamy floral. So 9 and 10 are the same price from the same company. And these are from Commodity. I have Commodity Gold, which is kind of their more vanilla sort of fragrance. And then I have Commodity Milk. So I'm gonna start with Commodity Milk. It's a sweeter fragrance, slightly smoky. It's, I would say this is a sweeter version of the Replica by the Fireplace. Is it Fireplace, Fireside, Fireplace? I don't know. I think this is a sweeter version, maybe a little bit more marshmallow here. Very deep yet sweet scent. It's absolutely gorgeous. They do have like the Milk Minus, and then they have the regular milk and then the Milk Plus. I tend to always gravitate towards their plus scents just because I prefer a deeper, more expressive scent. But maybe if this was a little heavy for you, you could go towards just the regular expressive or like the whatever the Minus is, which is more of a close to the skin sort of scent. This one you're going to be smelled. And then same thing with this one. This is Gold. This is a woody sort of vanilla, like a deep woody vanilla scent. And it's absolutely gorgeous. These retail for about $135 each. They do run sales periodically. or if you get their sample set, I think within the sample set there is a certificate for 15% off when you get a full size. So now we are on to another Tom Ford, and this is Ombre Leather. This to me, and this is gonna sound so crazy, it just smells expensive because it smells like the inside of like a new car or like a new leather bag, a leather jacket, kind of like that comforting sort of smell in the winter, like if you hug somebody, like their body's warm but it's cold outside but they have on a leather jacket and you just kind of smell it. That's this. It's just a very comforting kind of smell to me. Sometimes if I find that it leans like a little bit maybe too sharp, too leathery, I will layer this with my Atelier Cologne Vanille and Sensei, I think is how you say it, to kind of add a little bit of a deep vanilla scent to the leather. But I love it. This is such a good one. Also, if you're wanting to be able to get this at a discount, if Sephora still has it, I'll leave it linked below, but the Sephora Favorites kit that they came out with in the fall to the winter, I saw it the other day and it was back in stock. But in there, I think you pay $70, $75 and you get to try all these men's colognes, and then you get to go cash it in for a full size. Well, full size, this retails for $150. So you're saving 50% off by getting that kit and then cashing it in for the full size of this. And that's what I did to get mine. Okay, so now we are on to Hermes. This is the Elixir de Merveille. Again, anything that's in French, which a lot of perfumes are, I can't say it. This is a gorgeous, deep, ambery orange scent. So if you're looking for something that's like sort of deep and sweet, maybe that's a little bit more fruity, because a lot of these are floral, this is where it's at. It's so good. So then over back to another Tom Ford scent. I feel like everybody has smelled this at this point, but to me, this is like a classic sort of winter fragrance. And it's like a spicy orchid, and this is Tom Ford's Black Orchid. And I believe that Dossier also does a dupe of this too. So if you were wanting to maybe try the scent and you didn't want to like spend out this much, I believe that they do have a replica of this Tom Ford fragrance as well. All right, and we're getting near to the end. I only have two more fragrances to show you, and this one is Lancome's Oud Bouquet. And I guess I'm gonna say oud on here because when I used one of the other pronunciations, it very much upset somebody in the last video that I was talking about fragrances. But this is nice. This has rose and saffron and vanilla and oud and I believe praline as well. And it's just a very sweet oud scent. It even smells like a little bit incensey in a way. And it just has such a depth to it. It's absolutely gorgeous and it wears so well in the winter, which all of these, this is why I chose these. These all wear very well in the winter and they kind of cut through the cold air, but this is absolutely gorgeous. And then the last one is from Dior, and this is the Toba color. And this has tobacco in it, honey, smoke, amber, peach, and then citrus. Again, this is another one. Here's the thing. Different notes, but kind of like same idea, sort of like that deep, almost churchy, incensey, smoky type smell. Oh, it's so beautiful. Absolutely love this. When I bought this, they didn't have the smaller bottle available, so I had to splash out and get the big one, but I did just look on their website and they do have the smaller bottle available. And a little bit of this goes a long way, so I think you would be 100% fine just getting the smaller bottle and saving a little bit of cash. So anyway, those are all of my winter fragrance picks. If you have gone through your collection and kind of pulled aside what you're going to be wearing this winter, you can go ahead and share in the description box below with us, and we can kind of keep the conversation going. I love talking about perfume. And also be sure to let me know what you think of my picks that I've chosen this winter, and what sorts of winter fragrance content you want. I do have videos coming up talking about winter florals and some winter fruits, because a lot of the times Fruity fragrances are sometimes more associated with summer, and florals are associated with spring, but there are some beautiful sort of winter fruits and florals that are out there, and I have quite a few I want to share of those with you guys. So anyway, if there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about, let me know in the comment section, and I'm always there chatting as well. I always respond to every comment. So anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.
Hand in hand, building castles out of sand.